And I'd like to request the clerk read the public comments procedures and the Metro Cable 14 replay statement.
Good afternoon, everyone. In compliance with the directives of the county, state, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, this meeting is live streamed and closed to in-person public attendance. Meeting procedures are subject to change pursuant to guidelines related to social distancing and minimizing person-to-person contact. To make a verbal comment during the meeting, on the day of the meeting, dial 916-875-2501 and follow the prompts. Clerk staff will contact you and transfer your call into the meeting to make a comment on a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter. Public comments will remain open until closed for a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter. Written comments are always accepted. Please feel free to send your email comments to boardclerk@saccounty.net and mail a comment to 700 H Street, Suite 2450, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Recording in progress.
Include meeting date and agenda item number or off-agenda item number. Or off-agenda item, rather. Contact information is optional. Written comments are distributed to members and filed in the record.
Thank you, Clerk. Now, Clerk, would you please take roll?
Absolutely. Members Nava?
I'm here.
Thank you, Lisa. Riley? McCarthy Olmsted?
Here.
Thank you. Chair Hedges?
Here.
Member Natoli? Member Daniels?
Here.
Spies?
Present.
Thank you. Shalom Shirla?
Here.
Gatewood? Paraset?
Here.
Thank you. Poyo Mu?
Here.
And Brown?
Here.
And we do have a quorum.
Thank you. And I just want to note for everybody that Councilmember Daniels was appointed to the commission in place of Councilmember Schaefer for this calendar year. So welcome, Councilman Daniels.
Thank you, sir, very much. Good to be here.
So the first item on our agenda is a conference with legal counsel. However, if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to move this to the tail end of the meeting. I think we only need to have this if certain questions come up during the meeting that are confidential in nature. So we might not have to have it. If that's okay with everybody, we'll go ahead in that route. And Josh, is Josh on the line?
I'm here, Chair Hedges.
Do we need a vote to do that, or can we just do that?
We can do that by consensus if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Does anybody have a problem with moving this to the tail end?
Nope.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and move on to item number 2. Clerk, can you please read this item into the record?
Item number 2 is to adopt resolution number 2022-001, authorizing the Sacramento.
Is anybody else having trouble hearing this?
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Lydia.
I was muted. I apologize for that. So,
No worries.
thank you. Agenda item number 2, adopt a resolution number 2022-001, authorizing the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission Board to remote teleconference meetings for the period of March 3rd, 2022 through April 3rd, 2022, pursuant to the Ralph M. Brown Act.
Okay, good afternoon. Bob Davison, I'm the Executive Director. And this item is very simple, but given the continued state declared emergency in the pandemic, it's necessary to adopt this resolution in order to continue to have not televised, excuse me, because we're televised anyway by Metro Cable, but to have this meeting by video conference or teleconference. It's necessary for you to adopt today's resolution. And with that, I recommend that you adopt the resolution authorizing the teleconference meeting pursuant to the Brown Act from March 3rd through April 3rd.
I'll move the item. Seconded.
I think we need to actually make sure that there's no public comment on this first.
That might help.
We can keep those, but let's check first. I want to announce real quick that in-person attendance was not permitted. Comments submitted to the public will be read into the record, and members of the public will be given the opportunity to phone in or make verbal comments during the meeting. Clerk, are there any written statements or people that called in on this?
Or there is anybody.
There's a problem with the mic. There we go. No, there are no public comments for this item. Thank you.
Great, so we'll close public comments, and we can now go ahead and do that same vote. We can go ahead and keep the same motion if that's okay with the clerk's office. Did you catch who made that, Lydia?
And I did not, Chair Hedges. Who made the motion?
Who was that?
I believe that was Member Daniels. It was.
And then seconded by Member Brown.
Thank you. Okay.
So clerk, can you please take roll for a vote?
Yes. Members Nava,
Sorry, yes.
okay. Riley, McCarthy Olmsted,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Natoli, Daniels,
Yes.
Spies,
Aye.
Shalom Shirla,
Yes.
Gatewood, Paraset,
Yes.
thank you, Poyomu,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Great. So let's move on to item number 3. And I'm so happy that Harriet Steiner seems like she's on. So that's well timed. And let's move to number 3. Clerk, can you please read that into the record?
Yes, item number 3 is adopt a resolution number 2022-002 honoring Harriet A. Steiner upon the occasion of her retirement.
I have a short presentation, and then I'll turn this over to Chair Hedges. This is a resolution honoring Harriet Steiner on occasion of her retirement. I've worked closely with Harriet since 2006, and she's worked for the commission a lot longer than that, which you'll see in the resolution. She has been a trusted counsel. She's been a wonderful legal counsel for the commission, and I also consider her to be a friend. She will certainly be missed, and with that, I appreciate everything Harriet has done for the commission and working with us. And with that, I'd like to turn this over to Chair Hedges to present the resolution to Harriet.
Thanks, Bob. I'd like to go ahead and read this resolution for everybody. Starts, whereas Harriet A. Steiner is a partner in the municipal law practice group of Best and Krieger LLP. And whereas prior to joining the firm in 2010, Harriet A. Steiner was a shareholder with McDonough, Holland, and Allen in Sacramento. And whereas Harriet A. Steiner has served as legal counsel for the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission since March 3rd, 1992. And whereas during her tenure, Harriet A. Steiner assisted the commission in successfully navigating numerous cable-related legal issues and concerns. And whereas Harriet A. Steiner was instrumental in the development and implementation of the legal framework for the Sacramento Educational Cable Consortium's Broadband Educational Services Technology Network, also known as BestNet, which provides a fiber data and video broadband network that serves as the educational technology gateway for students and faculty in Sacramento County schools. And whereas Harriet A. Steiner advised the commission in the successful transition from local cable franchises to statewide franchises under the Digital Infrastructure and Video Competition Act, also known as DIVCA, of 2006, protecting the commission, its member agencies, and local channel licensees. And whereas Harriet H. Steiner has overseen the commission's franchisee auditing program, ensuring cable franchisees pay franchise and PEG fees owed to the commission for the use of the commission's 7 member agencies' public rights of way. And whereas Harriet A. Steiner has provided sage counsel to numerous board of directors, executive directors, and staff to help accomplish the commission's goals and ways to better the local community. And whereas Harriet A. Steiner recently announced retirement and will be truly missed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board of directors of the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission expresses its deep gratitude and appreciation to Harriet A. Steiner for her more than 30 years of sound counsel and advice to the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission, and wishes her only the best in her future endeavors. So before we go to any members that may want to say anything, I'd just like to open the public comment and ask the clerk if there's any statements that have been received or callers who've called in.
We do not have any callers who have called in, and Karen, we do not have.
Director Hedges, Chair Hedges, I'd like to acknowledge for the record that Supervisor Natoli have arrived
Thank
to the
you.
meeting.
Thank you. Welcome, Supervisor Natoli. I'll go ahead and close the public comment opportunity and open this up to any board members who might have any comments and a motion if we'd like to do so.
Hi, Matt. This is Commissioner Nava, and I just wanted to congratulate Harriet on her retirement. And thank you so much for all of your service. You have made legal, complicated communication matters understandable, which is huge. So we really appreciate all of your support. I know Supervisor Serna is very appreciative of all you've done to support the Cable Commission. So thank you, and it would be my pleasure to move the item.
Mr. Chair, this is Member Natoli. I would second the motion, and I'd like to offer just a couple comments if I could.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I would just echo certainly what Lisa Nava just said, but also note that I've had the good fortune of, for most of her time with the commission, although she preceded me in her term of service, I think I served as an alternate back in the early 90s as well, and I've had a chance certainly to work with Harriet on commission business for all these many years now, obviously 30 years, I think almost to the day, if I understood as you were reading the resolution. And as noted, certainly it's been a quite a journey with certainly all the happenings both at the state and federal level, but also administering the the franchise and the various contracts and all the various aspects of that. But I would just say we've been blessed certainly with good, strong legal counsel, certainly with the leadership with the executive director and our other support staff here at the commission. And Harriet, though, has been key. I think she brings certainly the legal expertise, but a common sense approach, one that brings practicality to it, but also I think has well reflected the interests of not only this commission, but the people we represent and serve in this community. So I want to just add my kudos to what was in the resolution. Thank her so much for her service and wish her well, obviously, as she goes on to other things in her life, and wish her much happiness and good health, many blessings in the years to come. Thank you, Harriet, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ms. Steiner, this is YK. I know you very short period, but the way I'm hearing from the people, this is awesome. Thank you. I think we're going to be missed, and we want to wish you good luck. But knowing me being the 26 years in public sector, legal counsel is always out there to protect us and protect the public's best interests. Being a council member for last 1 year, believe me, we always rely on our legal counsel and Mr. Stephen Wong, you know him, because he always gives us, you guys can do this. That's more important than can do. And we will definitely do can do's more, but can do. We can't recover those as an elected officials, right? So I hear, our supervisor's comments, and we really want to, thank you, even though I'm a member here. Wish you the best of luck in your future endeavor.
Thank you.
I'd like to echo the same comments and add that on behalf of Councilmember Eric Guerra, we really appreciate, Harriet, your help on some projects during my short time on the commission that Guerra and I had worked on. So thank you for your legal advice and expertise there, and obviously with the commission as well. And good luck on your retirement. Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Great. So I don't want to talk just to talk, but I think everybody made really excellent comments, and your work has been extremely appreciated. And I was just kind of blown away when I was reading through the resolution by all the enormous things that you've helped with, and pretty much everything that has been established in terms of how we operate and how we succeed. It seemed like they emanated from your sage counsel. So thank you so much, Harriet, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you very much.
So we have a motion and a second on the table. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Members Nava,
Yes.
Riley, McCarthy Olmsted,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Member Natoli,
Aye.
Daniels,
Yes.
Spies,
Aye.
Shalom Sherla,
Yes.
Gatewood, Paraset,
Yes.
Poyomu,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
If I could, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to ask, Harry, have you given Josh Nelson your forwarding phone number so then just in case?
So that's a great entree.
Director, until I
did
have her
wanna
cell phone, I'm not afraid to text.
Okay,
I learned a long time
very-
ago the best way of handling some of these issues is what would Harriet do. So.
Very good. Okay, thanks.
Right. So I did want to thank you all for the kind words, and it's been my honor and pleasure to represent the commission all these years and to, work on cable issues, both for you in Washington and in the state, and to work through the many changes in cable law and BestNet particularly, because I just think that's just a wonderful resource for the schools for years to come. And you've been a great board, and I really just appreciate all the backup that the board has given to us as we work down these issues, and your staff, Bob and Kieran, and prior staff have all been wonderful and always thought of the best interests of the people and the public agencies involved. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm still living in Sacramento. Josh does have my cell phone, as does Bob and Kieran. And so I'm around. And I'm now a Comcast member, so I could become a gadfly. But because I finally moved back into Sacramento. But anyway, you will really enjoy Josh. He's been helping on the commission for many, many years, and he's just an excellent lawyer, a practical person. And I think it'll all work out. And I'll enjoy over time if he gives me a call and lets me know what's happening with you and with the commission. So thank you very much for your kind words. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Chair Hedges, if you will allow, before the next item, I'd like to read the live replay statement into the record.
Yes, please.
Okay. This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T UVerse cable systems. The live meeting can also be heard free on KUBU Radio 96.5 FM. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov and will replay on Saturday, March 5th at 3 p.m. on Metro Cable 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. And thank you.
Thanks. So let's move to item number 4. Clerk, can you please read this item into the record?
Item number 4 is to provide direction on the recruitment for our new executive director and review and approve the job description for the executive director.
Good afternoon. Bob Davison, again, Executive Director. And as the board may remember, in December, I let the board know that I'm planning to retire from my job at the County of Sacramento, and also this job, which is concurrent with my job at the County of Sacramento. And I plan to retire in September. No exact date. So this isn't about my retirement today. I'm going to be here 2 more meetings. I'll be here at the June and the September meeting. But I do plan on that. And with that, it's certainly important to replace me with another executive director. With that, Josh has been kind of leading us and the subcommittee through the executive director recruitment process, and given this to replace me, I've asked Josh to present this item today for your review.
Thanks, Bob. While we're certainly, very excited for Mr. Davison, we're sad to see him go, and we know that his successor will have very big shoes to fill, and so we wanted to get started on the recruitment as soon as possible, with the hope that there may be a little bit of an overlap period to help with the transition. So to that end, staff has been meeting with the ad hoc committee, which is composed of Chair Hedges, Commissioner Brown, and Commissioner Chalam Charla, to sort of go over some potential next steps for the recruitment. And the item before you this afternoon is to present those options that we've considered, lay out the ad hoc committee and staff's recommendation on each of those options, and then to get some direction from the commission. And if the commission's comfortable with the direction that we're headed, we are looking for you to approve the draft job description, which is in your packet. All of these is sort of laid out in the staff report, but it might be helpful just to kind of focus on the bullet points, which are on the bottom of page 2 of the staff report. So we really are looking at 3 different areas. The first is the scope of the position itself. So currently and historically, the executive director position has been part-time. And Mr. Davison, over the past 5 years, has spent about 315 hours a year acting as the executive director for the commission. But that's certainly not the only way we could do it. And we looked at, well, does it make sense to potentially consider expanding the scope of the position to make it full-time or otherwise. After a review of kind of current workload and expected workload, we do recommend that we continue the current model of a part-time executive director and anticipate the level of effort to remain approximately the same in the short to medium term. On that point, the job description, which is attached to the item, is based on that. And when we open it up for the board discussion, we would request and look for some input and feedback on that job description, and if it's acceptable, that the commission approve it. So moving on to the options for the recruitment itself, or sort of how we could staff the position. As Bob noted when he introduced the item, he is actually a full-time employee of the County of Sacramento, and the commission contracts with the county for executive director services. So the first option would be to continue that current model and to work with the county to identify candidates that are current county employees who might be good fits to also take this on in a part-time capacity, but our contract for services would be with the county itself. Another option would be to directly hire someone, and this could be either someone who's interested in having just a part-time position, or it also could be someone who's a retiree from a non-PERS a retirement system, which would include Sacramento County. The difference here from the county model is that this person would be a direct employee of the commission. We would pay them an hourly wage, be responsible for taxes and withholding, and potentially be responsible for benefits depending on the hours worked. Importantly, based on the expected level of effort, this position would not be a PERS position, and anyone who had previous service in a PERS entity would not be eligible. So on that point, there were a couple of other options that we looked at, including recruiting from member agencies and otherwise. Unfortunately, for PERS reasons, those were unavailable. Staff and the ad hoc committee recommendation on this issue would be to not make a decision at this point between the 2 options, but to try to get as many candidates as possible, cast a wide net, and then as we move through the process, once the preferred candidate is identified, simply move forward with that option that they fell under. And then the last issue we're looking for feedback on is actually how to do the recruitment. So we could do that internally, or we could hire an outside recruiter. We looked at potentially using an outside recruiter, but there were 2 concerns that were identified pretty quickly. The first is just timing. Mr. Davison is, looking to retire in September, and we're hoping to bring a preferred candidate to the commission in June. So it would be difficult to get an outside recruiter on board and ready to go under that timeline. And then the second is cost. We didn't get a quote, but in past experience, outside recruiters, will be in the $10,000 to $35,000 range, and we do feel we have the expertise and bandwidth at the staff level to do it internally. So what our recommendation would be is that we do an internal-led recruitment with input from the ad hoc committee to screen candidates, with the idea, again, as mentioned before, of bringing a preferred candidate to the commission in June for the commission to decide if they're comfortable with that person. If they are, we could actually approve their appointment at that same meeting, and that would give a couple of months of overlap before Mr. Davison retires in September. So with that lengthy explanation, I apologize, Chair Hedges, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great. So this is an opportunity for anybody on the board to ask questions of staff, and then we'll move to public comment, and then we can have a board deliberation after that. It looks like there's no questions that need to be asked. I'll go ahead and open the public comment opportunity. Clerk, are there any statements received or callers waiting?
And no, there are no statements received or callers waiting for this item or any of the other previous items so far.
Great. I'll go ahead and close public comment and open this up to board deliberation and direction.
Mr. Chair, this is Director Natoli.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just say I appreciate the work the committee has done on this item, and I think Council Nelson, laid out, keeping the opportunity open on kind of parallel tracks here as it relates to making some determination once we've, gotten some idea of the pool of candidates. I think that, the job description, obviously Bob has served in that capacity for a number of years and has a pretty good understanding what it takes, and I'm sure he, working with council and the committee, have that reflected in the description itself. And I think, again, in light of the timing, and I think, as noted, desire to have someone on board with some overlap. Again, I don't know if we do the recruitment internally. I think certainly county personnel could assist with that. Maybe there's some, you don't necessarily have to hire a recruiter, but make sure we get the word out broadly enough so that, the intended, candidate pool at least has an idea of what's being sought here. Under a part-time, header, but certainly very important work. And executive director, again, even in the part-time capacity, is just a key position for this body. So I'm supportive of what the committee's recommended here. I think having that parallel track makes good sense and gives us the ability at a future juncture to determine once the candidates are known and that's been narrowed down as to how best to approach the determination on what category they fit in, whether it's hiring them outside the county or working through the county system. So I'm supportive of the recommendation here, and I don't know there needs to be anything added unless there's other comments. So thanks.
Thank you. Are there any comments from anybody else? If there are none, then I'll ask the board to make a motion for the approval of the proposed recruitment process for a new part-time executive director and approve the job description for the executive director. Is there anybody that would like to make that motion?
This is Member Brown, so moved.
Second.
I actually think Member Spees had it.
It could be. I can go first or second, whatever works for anybody.
All right, so I see a motion by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Spees. Clerk, can you please take a roll?
Absolutely. Members Nava,
Yes.
Riley, McCarthy Olmsted,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Member Natoli,
Aye.
Daniels,
Yes.
Spees,
Aye.
Churla,
Yes.
Gatewood, Paraset,
Yes.
Poyamu,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
And this motion carries.
Thank you. So moving to item number 5, Clerk, can you please read this item into the record?
The agenda item number 5 is to adopt resolution number 2022-003, reclassifying the technical assistant position to a multimedia technician position.
Good afternoon again, Bob Davison. As you're aware, the Metro Cable team has 4 full-time positions: the production director, the production coordinator, the technical coordinator, and the technical assistant. Those 4 positions are key in all the government meetings that are cablecast on Metro Cable. So with that, we have been reviewing the technical assistant position, and we had been in discussions about expanding the scope of that position so that it had more duties and could serve the commission better, adding some video editing, programming duties, scheduling, uploading to YouTube, the cable guides for Comcast, and consolidated, and other duties. Like I said, we were working on this, but we've advanced. I think it'd be at the June agenda, but we've advanced it to today because, unfortunately, we got some great news for our programming coordinator, Doug Bigham. He's announced that he's leaving us for another job elsewhere, and while we are sad to see Doug go, we certainly need to move forward, and we will be filling that position. But in the meantime, since we were already moving forward to expanding the technical assistant position to take on some of the programming duties, we thought that, so in the interim, after Doug leaves, between the production director, Kristen Riggs, and the technical assistant, Dallin Swenson, that by expanding the duties now, that we'll be able to utilize Dallin during this time period that we are going to be without a programming coordinator. So with that, we've brought this position reclassification and compensation adjustment to the commission today. So with that, we are recommending that a resolution be approved reclassifying the technical assistant position to a multimedia technician position, which, excuse me, I didn't name the name of the new classified position, and approve the job description and the recommended salary scale. And the salary scale is on page 2 of the staff report, and the top step of the salary will be about 13 to 14 in that range, higher than the current salary range for the technical assistant. And with that, I recommend that you adopt the resolution.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Bob before we go to public comment?
Not a question, but just want to note this is Keaton Riley. I was a little bit tardy. My apologies.
It's okay. Go ahead. Oh, you're just saying that you were tardy and you're in? Is that your comment?
I was just letting them know that I'm...
Great. Awesome. Thanks for coming. So I'll go ahead and open the item for public comment. Clerk, are there any statements received or callers calling in?
And there are currently no public comments or statements received.
Okay. Is there any board deliberation? So seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve resolution number 2022-003, reclassifying the technical assistant position to a multimedia technician position, effective the March 2022 per 2 pay period. Are there any motions?
So move.
Wait a second.
And this is the clerk. Was that Member Daniels who made the motion?
Yeah, Member Daniels and then Member Sean Sherla.
Thank
at least
you.
was the loudest one.
Thank you.
So clerk, can you please take roll?
Members Nava,
Yes.
Riley, McCarthy Olmsted. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Member Riley? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And McCarthy Olmsted, I did get that your aye. And Member Hedges?
Yes.
Natoli?
Aye.
Daniels?
Yes.
Spees?
Aye.
Shalom Sherla?
Yes.
Meetwood? Paraset?
Yes.
Wayamu?
Yes.
And lastly, Brown.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Thank you. So let's go to item number 6. Clerk, can you please read this item into the record?
Yes, agenda item number 6 is to adopt resolution number 2022-004, approving changes to the SMCTC, Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission Employee Handbook for part-time, regular, and temporary employees.
Well, good afternoon again. I have a short presentation on this. Recently, the board adopted policies and an employee handbook for both full-time and part-time staff, actually separate documents at separate times. We did the full-time first and then followed that up with a part-time handbook. One of the changes was to change daily overtime to 8 hours a day to weekly overtime, which was 40 hours a week. Legally, we're able to, because of our size, we're able to do that. The commission could actually implement either daily overtime or weekly overtime, and that was the change. But the weekly overtime was the change that was made in the handbook. One of the unintended consequence of this change was the change was mainly made because of the full-time staff for more flexibility, that they may work longer hours, work some night meetings on one day, and then they could come in later the next day and such. As long as at the end of the week they worked 40 hours, it was fine. But if they worked more than 40 hours in the week, then they would get paid for overtime. But our part-time production assistants that are in the control rooms of all the meetings that are cablecast on Metro Cable, those are part-time positions. Typically, the staff filling those positions have a few meetings per week. Maybe they work a couple days a week, so they never get to 40 hours. They actually rarely get overtime, but there are certain instances where meetings, as I think most of the people on this board will understand, can go very long and sometimes well into the night, 1 o'clock in the morning, for example. So with that, by changing overtime to weekly overtime, that took away the ability to compensate the production assistants for those times where the meetings do go long. So with that, we reviewed the situation. We discussed this with our legal counsel, and we felt that a fair policy would be to keep the full-time staff at the 40-hour work week, but that to adjust the policy for the production assistants for the temporary positions and update that employee handbook. So with that, and then we've just included a few other minor cleanup edits, such as the sick leave, meal, and rest break policies that relate to those production assistants. But the main thing was the overtime that I've discussed. So with that explanation, and certainly I can answer any questions, but I recommend that you adopt the resolution approving the changes to the employee handbook for part-time, regular, and temporary employees.
Thank you. Are there any questions from any members?
Yeah, just a quick question. I think I heard him say it, but I just wanted to make sure. So for the full-time employee, the option is still there that it'll be a over 40 hour.
Correct. For full-time employees, it's still over 40 hours in a week.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and open the public comment period. Clerk, are there any statements received or callers calling in?
Not at this time.
Thank you. I'll close public comment and open up for board deliberation. Are there any comments from any board members?
Move staff recommendation, Mr. Hedges.
Thank you, Member Natoli.
Second.
I believe that was Member Daniels. So I have a motion by Member Natoli and a motion by Member Daniels. Is this a vote, or are we just reading this in, Bob?
It would be an action item for your board to adopt the resolution.
Great. Then yeah, Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Members Nova,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
McCarthy Olmsted,
Yes.
Hedges,
Yes.
Natoli,
Aye.
Daniels,
Yes.
Spies,
Aye.
Chanchurla,
Yes.
Gatewood, Paraset,
Yes.
Boyomu,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
And the motion passes.
Thank you. Moving right along. Item number 7, Clerk, can you read this into the record?
Yes, let's see, this is, the subject is for calendar year 2022 investment policy for the period pooled for the pooled investment fund.
So this item is a receive and file item because we participate in the County of Sacramento's. They invest our funds along with their funds. Since we participate in that pooled investment fund, it is necessary, the County of Sacramento asks that we adopt this once a year, or actually we receive and file this investment policy once a year, and we're recommending that the board receive and file that policy today.
Thank you, Bob. Are there any questions from any board members? All right, I have a hunch I know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyways. Clerk, are there any statements received or callers who called in?
No, we have not received any statements, and there are no callers in queue.
Thank you. So this is just a receive and file. Are there any final comments from any board members? So seeing none, we'll move to item number 8. Clerk, can you please read this item into the record?
And item number 8 is the General Administration Report.
Good afternoon again, Bob Davison. So I'll quickly go through some of these items. I'll be adding an item to this as well, a general administrative item, but I'll go through these one at a time and just note that there will be an added item. Before I get to the final item number 6, I'll insert the other item I wanted to talk about. And so for item number 1, the City of Eugene, Oregon versus the Federal Communication Commission, I'm going to ask Josh Nelson to update us on that.
Thanks, Bob. So as a reminder, this case involves a challenge to the FCC's what we call the 621 order or the in-kind order, which changed how in-kind or non-monetary contributions from cable franchisees are counted towards the 5% cap on franchise fees. And in particular, under this new order, the FCC clarified that those in-kind contributions, like things like an iNet or a BestNet, are counted against that 5% cap. The Commission participated in a coalition of local agencies to oppose and reverse that order through the courts. And the most recent update is we had filed for a writ of certiorari with the U.S. Supreme Court, seeking to overturn the Sixth Circuit's decision to uphold the 621 order. And unfortunately, we recently learned that the court declined to take the case. So that is the last action in this proceeding. It is possible that local governments may seek future regulatory relief before the Commission, especially given the change in the administration. But currently, the Commission's at a 2-2 deadlock, and so it's unclear when would be an appropriate time to make that request. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Josh. I'll move on to item number 2, the BestNet MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And as I reported with legal counsel to the Commission, as we've talked about it on many agendas, there was a pending agreement between Comcast, the Sacramento Education Cable Consortium, and the Cable Commission in regards to extending BestNet and making sure that the system's maintained at least through after 2023. Otherwise, the agreement with Comcast to maintain BestNet would have ended. Anyway, with that, I know we've discussed that on many agendas, but there was final concurrence on an MOU. Commission is party, but not for monetary reasons. There's no cost to the Commission for that contract. And so, as discussed at previous meetings, the executive director would be able to execute that agreement and then report the execution of that agreement at the next meeting. So I am doing that today. I do want to thank Harriet, who was on earlier, and Josh, both for their work on BestNet for all these years. Liz Rhodes and the Cable Consortium, at Sacramento Education Cable Consortium. I'm probably getting that name wrong. Sorry, Liz. And the schools that have participated in that effort, and Comcast. A lot of good work has been done, and a huge educational tool for the Sacramento area that has been supported by this commission for many, many years, has been able to happen because of this agreement between those three parties, and now will continue to be maintained even beyond 2024. So that's a real good thing. And with that, I'll go to the next item. Cable company audits. This is just a report that we will be doing audits of all the cable companies, Consolidated Communications, AT&T, and Comcast for calendar years 2020 and 2021. And we'll be initiating those audits with the Commission's auditor very soon. And those will be discussed at future meetings. The next item I have is the the Joint Powers Authority ordinance and agreement and its amendment, if you recall, we have to amend that agreement or the commission will sunset in December of 2024. This board made it quite clear that we do not want, that the board, excuse me, does not want that to end in 2024. So with that, we've been working with legal counsel, and we are now reaching out to member agencies, first with the County of Sacramento, to basically amend the JPA. And what the process is that the County of Sacramento will adopt a ordinance amendment, and then all the member agencies will adopt the same ordinance amendments. And when it's finally adopted by all the entities, the JPA is amended, and the sunset date of the commission will be extended beyond 2024. So with that, I would expect, I'm going to be meeting with the county staff on that very soon. We've prepared the ordinance documents working with county council, and we expect that that will be in the board, maybe in the April timeframe. The next item is the fiscal year call for PEG fee funding. We, as in the beginning of the pandemic, it certainly in these times, especially with supply line issues, some of the member agencies have had issues in regards to ordering some of the equipment that is necessary in order to implement a lot of these projects. Also, just with the pandemic, staff is just really going through, a lot's going on with the JPA amendments and a lot of the things that we're working on. So with that, we are recommending that we usually do the call for funding in about the end of March, April timeframe. We communicate to the member agencies and the channel licensees. They send in grant requests, and usually at the June budget meeting, we bring those requests to the board. So we are proposing to delay that process to the period between the June budget meeting and the September final budget meeting, and we'll do a call for funding beginning in June, and then bring that to the board in September. And what that's really going to do is a lot of these projects, from, like I said, because of the supply lines, aren't complete with the member agencies. So rather than doing the call for funding now and then working on that effort plus completing all the PEG projects for this fiscal year, we are allowing a process that's going to extend the ability for the member agencies to finish those items. It'll allow for the commission staff to track that better, and the process for the call for funding for the next fiscal year will be a lot cleaner with this delay. So with that, I have the one more item that I wanted to add, and this came up this week. So it was something that I'm going to address with my executive director authority, but I thought I should let the board know and let you know that this will be coming to the June meeting. As you may remember, last year the board adopted an agreement to award $100,000 to Atrium 916, which was and the agreement was called the Rapid Response for the Creative Economy Project. This proposal was related to the current COVID-19 pandemic, with funding being sought for a local artist to earn some income while being unable to work during the health crisis. Atrium would put out a call to artists to submit for original content, and then they were going to create several episodes that piece together all of these artist contributions and make that into about 20 episodes that would be available to possibly show on KVIE, possibly to show on Metro Cable and other means. Well, with that, they started to implement this agreement, but they ran into some problems, and that was with the quality that they were receiving. Some good work was done by artists and creatives, and the project did start. They were seeing that they weren't getting submittals that were, to the level of that they would think that they would be able to show those on KVIE and on Metro Cable and such. So with that, Atrium has approached us and is asking to amend the scope of their agreement. And what they're asking is that artists would still be paid through this process, and that still they would be dealing with about 100 local artists, or more actually. It's going to be more than 100. But instead of projects being bundled into 20-minute episodes, there's going to be a more focused effort with Atrium working with many of the creatives to produce six episodes based on working with the creative community. So with that, there will be more high quality production. These artists would be working with Atrium and some of their consultants and such that will be providing them with expertise and direction and really bringing the production of what they're preparing to a higher level, thereby helping the artists, but also creating great content. So with that, I wanted to report this out that there's a timeliness to their request because they want to implement this soon. And so with that, and since there's no money change and it's a change in the scope, I consulted with Josh Nelson, and he indicated that it is an agreement that an amendment to the agreement that I would be able to sign under my authority. So with that, I'm certainly letting you know about the change, and I'm reporting that out to you today. And then I believe that they're also going to want to extend the time of the agreement, and that would require it to come to the board at the June meeting. So with that, there's no action for the board on this item. Simply, I'm certainly letting you know that, and I can answer any questions if you have any. I don't know, do we have anybody from Atrium 916 asking to comment on this?
We do.
Oh, okay. So maybe before we go to our last item, I would suggest to Chair Hedges that we check for public comment, and that we can hear the public comment from Shira from Atrium 916.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good idea.
Can you please send Shira through on the line? Hello, Shira. You're now in the meeting. If you could please turn the meeting down in the background and go ahead and make your comment, please.
Hi, this is Shira with the Atrium 916. I'm here to answer any questions about the program if you have any questions.
Well, this is Commissioner Sarah Polomu on behalf of Councilmember Eric Guerra, and I just wanted to add, thank you, Bob, for the update. I think this has actually worked out to be a better scope of work because it's not only providing money for artists in need and unique educational content for children that wouldn't otherwise get this type of content, and it will be aired on KBIE and other channels. It's also turned into a career education workforce opportunity for these artists who are actually going to now get to not only show their content, but learn how to produce it. And they're going to be behind the scenes on the set. They're going to get to have multiple artists in one episode. It's just a really unique and cool experience, more unique than it had started out to be. And the other thing I wanted to add is that one of the people that have been brought on, not for any additional cost to the commission, of course, but one of the people that have been brought on to help out with this with Atrium is a local Black artist who graduated from Sac State, which I also think is awesome for the local community. Adonis. And that the content that's going to be produced will also have a narrative telling folks who watch the videos all the great climate-friendly, sustainable efforts that local artists are making in their artwork. So it's really become a very cool program beyond what we had even started it with. So I just wanted to emphasize that. And Atrium, Shira, under Shira's lead, has done an amazing job pivoting with this content that was submitted and not high quality. She's actually gone out and got additional monies that were needed to make this better without having to come back to the commission to ask for money. So I just wanted to highlight all of those cool aspects in this pivot, and then also give Shira a shout out for making it work when challenges were brought her way.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. That is so kind of you. We're really excited to kind of take this project on. As we do this, we're going to be meeting with creatives before we do go actually into production. Then we'll be on set, so they'll get hands-on experience on set. And it's also going to be a sustainable green set, so they'll learn how to do a sustainable production set. And then post the 2 days, so every episode will be a 2-day shoot, and then post the 2-day shoot, we're going to have a meeting with the whole crew, because normally on set you don't get an opportunity to really talk with the director or DP. And so we'll be doing a Zoom meeting with all, so that way everybody can ask questions and learn. And so it becomes kind of like a work experience learning. And yeah, we have 2 4K cameras now that are ready to go. So this is really elevating the quality. So thank you for giving us the opportunity and trusting us to produce this content. We're really excited for it.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, and
Are there any other questions? What were you going to say, Bob?
Oh, I was just going to say that this is certainly not an action item, and appreciate Commissioner Polo's comments, and leave it back to you to make sure there's no questions. And with that, I can go on to the next item.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So the final item is Metro Cable YouTube channel update and demonstration. And we do have a demonstration for you today. The demonstration will be given by our now short-time program coordinator, Doug Bigham. I just, before he goes into the presentation, I just want to thank Doug for all the work that he's done for the commission, and we really appreciate everything that you have done, and wish Doug well in his future endeavors. So thanks, Doug. And with that, I'll turn the YouTube presentation over to you so you can show demonstration on the archiving, the on-demand that we have for past meetings. So thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Bob. Good afternoon, Chair.
I don't think his mic is working.
Oh, can you okay, I'm on. Technical difficulties. Good afternoon, Chair Hedges, Commission, and staff. My name is Doug Bigham. I'm the programming coordinator for Metro Cable 14. And today I have a demo of the Metro Cable YouTube channel for you. So just wanted to give you an overview. The Metro Cable YouTube channel consists of all the current boards, commissions, and city council meetings that are aired on Metro Cable. This includes all 7 member agencies and 14 non-member agencies, going all the way back to 2018. And the archive is growing every day, and we are continuing to add previously recorded meetings to our channel. So we add approximately 60 meetings every month, and we currently have over 1,400 meetings on the channel. So now getting into the demo, on your screen you should see our YouTube channel in all its glory. So the easiest way for you to find our YouTube channel is just to go to Google and type in Metro Cable 14. It's probably going to be about the 3rd item down on Google. If you're already in YouTube, you can just easily type Metro Cable 14 into the YouTube search box. And also the YouTube URL, we have a custom URL. It's youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. So easy to remember if you ever want to easily reference it. So the first thing you'll see when you jump on our channel is we have the Metro Cable 14 live stream. So this is an HD live stream of our channel. If you go ahead and click on it, it's going to give you a live feed. You can just easily type Metro Cable 14. Okay, and so right there you heard me talking because it's a live feed. So, and I had to pause it. But this is closed captioned, and another cool feature of the live stream is it has a 12-hour DVR. So say it's the evening, you remembered, oh, there was a meeting on in the morning, you can kind of go back in time. I can go back 4 hours, I can go back 7 hours, or I could go back 12 hours. And that can kind of, if you miss something, you can always just go back in time, which is always nice. All right. And so I just wanted to also take you back to the homepage. As you see, We also have playlists set up for all of our member agencies. So we have the Cable Commission playlist here. You can actually go, if you click on the text above the playlist, you can go in and you can see all of the Cable Commission meetings going all the way back to 1987. So if you really want to go back in time, you can do it on our channel. You can even play all. There's a play all feature. So if it's late one night and you just want to get some sleep, you can play all. All right, and then if you can scroll down, you can see all the most recent Board of Supervisors meetings. So from left to right, your most recent meeting is going to show up on the left. And if you hit this nice little arrow here, you can see the next 6 meetings in that playlist. And then if you continue down, we have all of our member agency city council meetings in the Sacramento region listed here. So everything's here. Even our non-member agencies are also listed down here on our YouTube channel. So Aberdeen is the company that we contract with to close caption all of our meetings. So every single member agency is closed captioned in real time. And I just wanted to show you a cool feature of YouTube and the closed captioning. So pretty much anytime you play a video, you can either toggle closed captioning on or off. And it usually just takes a moment for the captioning to kick in. A few seconds, you can see it there at the bottom of the screen. So a cool feature is you can hit these 3 little dots down here below your video on the bottom right-hand side, and you have an open transcript option. So if you click on that, it gives you a transcript of every single word that was said during the entire meeting. So this is definitely useful, especially with Board of Supervisors when they have, 7, 8, 12-hour meetings. You can easily do a search of that text. So you can do a Control F, Control Find, and then say you're interested in finding out about item number 4. Just type in item 4. That's gonna jump you right to that point in the meeting. You can click on that, hit play, and YouTube will refresh to right where that item 4 was mentioned. So if you can also do this with keywords. So if you know a phrase was mentioned in the meeting, like atrium, you can type in atrium, and it's going to bring up the first time atrium was said in the meeting. Just click on that, and that's going to take you directly to that point in the meeting. So it's very useful if you ever need to bring up something quickly that you were looking for instead of trying to scroll through hours and hours of meeting footage.
Just a quick question. So is that transcribed by the folks that do the, for those that have hearing challenges, or is that done via the voice picked up and then is done electronically? How is that all transcribed?
So all the closed captioning is transcribed by our closed captioning company that we use, Aberdeen, and during our live meetings, there's a captioner that's captioning live. So and then what we do is we extract that closed captioning file, because the closed captioning is embedded in the video. We extract that file and then upload that separately to YouTube. So all the content that was captioned live at the meeting is then able to be uploaded to YouTube.
Okay, so it's based on what is caught by the captioner, and they do a very good job in most cases, but that can be, so if there's something missed there, you still have the audio that goes with it. You could listen for yourself, but that certainly provides quite a bit of a shortcut for folks who would be interested in seeing the written transcript.
Absolutely.
But by matter of public record, the record is what? It's the audio video, it's the clerk's minutes, or that transcript. The law allows some flexibility on that. And so what is the prescribed record? And then the retention of that has to be for a long, long time.
Yeah, and that's all for the agency clerk to handle. Yeah, Metro Cable doesn't have any of the official public record.
Right.
So we just provide a resource for the public to access the video.
Okay, but in not so distant times, we used to have to, if you want to get a copy, you burned it in on a disc. Now folks can go via YouTube, download it themselves, find what section and not have to, and actually scroll through the meeting in a way that allows them to efficiently and I guess quickly find an item that they'd be looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right. And then one last thing that I just wanted to mention on our YouTube channel. If you do scroll all the way down to the bottom, there is a little Easter egg down here. It's our clip of the month. And it's usually when something fun or interesting happens at one of our meetings that we cover, we like to put a little clip, make a little clip, a minute or two. And they're actually more popular than our long version meetings. But we don't do it every single month, but and when we get a chance, we like to make a clip like when a dinosaur visited the city of Sacramento. Okay, so now I wanted to go into analytics real quick. So pretty much what we have here is a live look at what our YouTube channel currently has, the statistics related to views. So this is looking over a 90-day period. So in the last 90 days, we've had almost 4,000 views on our channel, about 211 hours of watch time, and we have gained 15 new subscribers. And if I switch that over to our lifetime view, this gives you a little indication of ever since we launched our YouTube channel, in total, we have had 30,000 views, about 2,000 hours of watch time, and we currently have 160 subscribers. So in conclusion, I just wanted to mention the mission statement of the Cable Commission is bringing government closer to the people, and making our meetings available on YouTube aligns with this goal. So in closing, making government meetings available on cable TV provides a high level of transparency, but making these same videos available on YouTube not only increases the level of transparency, but also allows them to be accessible to a wider audience and available on any device with an internet connection. So what I'd really like to do is, if I could ask the commission members to this afternoon to go to our YouTube channel and hit that big red subscribe button. If you get a chance, that would be wonderful. We want to get our subscriber count upwards of 200. Just remember, Metro Cable 14 is your key to local government. Thank you. Any questions?
No, thanks a lot, Doug. I appreciate the presentation. I remember a lot of this started because I'm one of those nerds who really watches a lot of this public TV, in part for my job. But I was constantly going up and trying to look at videos, and it felt very confusing on how to find different videos. And I shot an email over to you, and pretty quickly you got the vision of kind of what we were talking about, and it's turned into a really easily accessible website. I use it all the time, and it's really simple to figure out where things are, and I think it's a really good resource for the public to be able to understand and find things easily. I think it's easy sometimes for all of us to know how to navigate different websites on different agencies and find what they're looking for, but I think it's really important for the average citizen that might not have as much knowledge to be able to quickly find what they're looking for and see what happened in their local government. So greatly appreciative of the work you put in here, and I think it's a really nice job that you've done.
Thank you, Chair.
And just, Doug, thanks again for your time at the commission, and you will be missed.
Oh, thank you. And I just had one last comment, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, please.
So yeah, next week will be my last day as a commission employee, and I just have a few words to say. So first of all, thank you, Chair and commission members, for your leadership and for making all the tough decisions over the years. Thank you, Bob, of course, for your leadership. Thank you, Karen and Mary. It's been wonderful to have you, your HR and admin expertise and continued support over the years. And finally, Kristen, Kevin, and Dallin from Metro Cable, your experience has been unparalleled, especially over the last 2 years in adapting to the ever-changing climate of virtual meetings. I would like to say it was a pleasure to work with you all. And I just, one last thing, I think that Metro Cable is a vital resource to so many government entities in the Sacramento region, and I feel it would be a very beneficial, it would be very beneficial to the agencies we serve and to the public to keep the Cable Commission in existence for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Mr. Chair, this is Director Tully.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to your comments and certainly thank Doug for his work and wish him well in the new journey in his professional life. And I guess we could afford to give you a free lifetime subscription to the YouTube Channel 14 channel. So
thank you. Well, it is available to the public for free anyway.
I know.
So.
No, I knew that. But again, I think certainly your help in crafting this, and I appreciated your comments in all seriousness about accessibility to government. And I think, as Chair Hedges said, that he's not, I don't believe he's alone, and folks that either regularly or from time to time tune in either live and or go back and archive segments and see what their government is working on, what decisions are being made, how they're being deliberated, and how they're being represented on the various bodies. And so I agree with you. It's key, I think, to functional representative government, and your work certainly here with the commission in that stead, but also just in all the things you've been called upon has been very, very important. So I want to wish you well, Doug. Thanks.
Thank you.
Doug, this is YK. I'm one of the new council members from City of Folsom. It's so awesome to see you put everything together in one place. I believe it is the same copy, what is available on our city council meetings website on our YouTube channel as well, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, correct. I'm going to be a proponent of your work. Me being an IT guy, I'll try my best to get you more subscriptions. I'll promise on that.
Thank you very much.
And it looks so awesome, though. I was looking at it, and I'm trying to go now and subscribe myself. Thanks for all your great work, and I love, using technology to serve citizens better. Right? Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. All right, seeing no other comments, let's go ahead and move down to our channel licensee reports. And I'll ask the clerk to please read this into the roll. Actually, I don't know that we need to read this into the record, but I will ask that she read any statements submitted by the channel licensees that weren't permitted to be at the meeting.
And there are none at this time.
I believe there is a video that SECC submitted, though, to queue up and show.
I do believe that Metro has it queued up.
I see Doug rushing to the back.
Okay, since we have a minute, though, I want to take time on behalf of, Liz is talking too. Can we hold that video for just 1 second, please? On behalf of the admin staff, Doug, we appreciate you and we will miss you. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Karen. I'll miss you guys too.
Good afternoon. I'm Liz Rhodes. I'm the Executive Director of the Sacramento Educational Cable Consortium. I wanted to give you a short report on SECC's activities, and starting off, wanted to say thank you so much for BestNet. It's done. We have the signed contract, so thank you very much to your staff and to Comcast for making this possible. And I just wanted to say that we're very happy with the contract, the way it's worked out. It provides a great deal of security for our schools and our districts. And we'll be working with them in the near future to get them situated for the next steps of BestNet. The other thing that I want to report to you is that we are returning to a live event for our SIVA Award Night. That will be May 1st. You'll see a copy of the invite on your screen, and you'll be receiving that in the mail soon. We hope you mark your calendars for May 1st. Statistics for it. So it's the biggest event, or the most entries we've had. We had 664 entries, about 1,800 students participating, representing 11 districts. We're in the midst of judging, so we don't know the winners yet, but that'll be coming up. Wanted to also share with you today just a couple of short videos on what's been happening with our SEVA awards and our SEVA program.
2, 1, go.
Truly one of the electives where everybody can do it. Everyone has a level, everyone has a place, everyone works at their own pace, and they all grow as a result. So I am so proud that I get to teach it and that it has a future, because it's always a place for everybody.
I want to do this as a career. This is what I love to do. I've been doing this since I was about 7 years old, from creating films on my mom's Chromebook to script writing from 7 to now 17 years old. I have a passion for what I do, and I want to be able to continue telling stories and be able to change someone's emotion because of the stories I'm telling.
Thank you for your ongoing support and help. And of course, let us know if you have questions. And in closing, just like to say congratulations to Harriet Steiner on her retirement. She's been a true friend to SCCC and education, and we will miss her. And of course, we wish her all the best. Thanks.
Great. So I think that's it from our channel licensees. Let's move over to our state licensees. Clerk, are there any statements or videos?
No, there are no statements.
Okay. So we're to the public comments. I want to read the following into the record. Members of the audience who called in may comment on any item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes. No action may be taken on non-agendized items raised under public comment until the matter has been specifically included on a future agenda for discussion and action. If a member of the public wants a response to a specific question, they're encouraged to contact commission staff or any of the board members. I'll open up public comment. Clerk, are there any comments?
No, there are no public comments.
Okay, I want to quickly ask Josh if he sees the need for us to meet in closed session.
Chair, staff would request we cancel the closed session.
Excellent. All right, that's it for us. I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting in memory of Metro Cable's technical coordinator, Bill Piper, who worked for the Cable Commission for over 27 years and hired as a part-time production assistant and retired as the TC in July 2019. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.